So hello everybody, and today joining me on our Intrabiz Zoom meeting and podcast is our Intrabiz Sweden's member Darren Hamlin. So welcome Darren, welcome to our podcast and Zoom.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome.
Yeah.
So tell us, Darren, tell us what your business is and why you actually set up your business.
I work in the photography and film business. Prior to that, I worked in the travel business for 10 years. I make commercial advertisements, documentary films, and photography assignments. Mainly in the outdoor industry and that kind of stuff, but I also do some weddings and other things sometimes, but we specialize more so in the outdoor industry, and we're pushing towards making more documentary films.
And why did you actually become a filmmaker, photographer?
I liked photography. I was working in the travel industry, but that was, we were making some decisions. It was getting tougher to operate with the uncertainty of Brexit, and also a company that is UK, Sweden has certain implications with that as well. And I just gravitated towards it. I was doing it part-time to begin with, whilst I had my other job, and then I ended up working 200%. Stuff just was coming in, so I decided to take the plunge and go set up a full-time business and run that. And that was probably, I'm really bad with years, but I think it's in its seventh year now as a company.
I think I contacted you when you were working for the tourism business before, wasn't it? I sent you an email.
We did. That's how we met originally. Yeah, I think we made, you contacted us or we contacted you, but we were looking at working together then. Yeah, definitely.
And then that was before you become a filmmaker, photographer, or you were dabbling in it then as well, weren't you?
Yeah, I did. I was doing some like friends and family, and then did the first wedding ever, and then it just went from there really. And then I live near you up in the mountains.
Yeah.
So it's quite a lot of outdoor business that goes on up here, outdoor brands. But it's kind of strange in that the last few years, I would say most of my work has been not even in Europe. I've been traveling around a lot. But now with COVID and stuff, of course, we've got to look a bit more local. It's been different.
So where have you actually done work then? If it hasn't been in Europe in the past, what sort of countries, what projects have you done?
We've worked in the States and in Asia with different companies, some food companies you could say we've worked for, and then we did a lot of work for a green investment bank. They have a portfolio of companies that only invest in green technology, so we travel quite a lot around with them, going to look at their different portfolio companies and profiling them. And that was really interesting because it was all technology that's meant to make us more environmentally aware and help and reduce emissions and things like this. So we did quite a lot of work with that all over, but in America quite a bit. Even though I'd say I want to specialize in the outdoors, there is other work that we do as well.
Yeah. And who would be your target market at the moment?
My target market, with what we do, it's a bit, we really need to want to get to decision makers and art directors and, marketing people for these companies or brands. That's really where we need to be. Of course, social media does play a part in raising awareness of what you do. And we have had work that's come through either directly or indirectly or supporting us with our website and portfolios, or when we've pitched someone. But ideally, we want to speak to art directors, and that's the people that make the decisions on the marketing at that level.
What's your so if the art directors were coming out to pick you, Darren Hamlin, for photography and filmmaking, then what's your uniqueness? Our
uniqueness. We there's companies even here that do what we do, and they do it very well. But everyone has their own different take on it. I think we tell the story really good. We want to show emotion. We want to tell the story. I really believe that photography, it's undervalued to some degree, even though it's not. You can't sell anything really without an image or a video. You need to create desire. You need to make the end user want that product. You know, you are selling it through desire, or you're selling a destination through desire. And it's, you know, the image of the kids playing in the water with this backdrop sun. When you're watching that, they're trying to make you, I want to do that with my family. That's exactly what we do. And that, be it if it's with a product or a watch or a shoe or a tent, that's what we do. We're creating desire. Some companies do that in a different way, with, you know, very high energy, power, car adverts, that kind of thing. And we're coming a little bit more that we like to tell a story, be a little bit different. We wish sometimes clients would be a bit more brave in taking some risks with advertising. And when companies have done that on a bigger level, even when it's not worked, it's worked because they've had the coverage. They've got people talking about it. And as long as it's not too bad, you know, then you can move on. So yeah, that's what we do. And then we also have a passion that we want to make film documentaries, feature-length film documentaries. We're in talks with some TV companies now, and we're working on that. And fingers crossed that goes well. But we have some good subjects. We have done lots of planning. So we're hoping to actually be going into broadcast TV with a couple of documentaries or video on demand. And as a small, because it's me, but there's also another couple of filmmakers, and together we have a small production company. And if we can lock that in, that would be, you know, really positive move in the right direction for us. And then we could talk about YouTube, where that's going, because that's a whole other discussion. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's quite interesting because just for all the viewers out there that are going to be watching this, is that we've worked together a lot with you over the last 7 years. You've taken a lot of our photographs for Wild Spirit, and you've also done a lot of film. And and that's the great thing about connections as well, isn't it? Is that you've always thought of Wild Spirit with as many projects as you can. I've always had you calling me on the phone. You've got this project or that project going, and would you like to be involved? So that's great with connections. And I feel you are a great fan of connections, and making sure that the people around you are getting all involved in your projects where they can.
I think it's important. I think, like, especially, you know, where we live, it's a smaller community, if that makes sense. And you kind of know a lot of people on a local level. And I'm sure that's the same for some of your members or people watching this. You know, you're not all in big cities and stuff. And tapping into that is kind of important. And you can undervalue that. You know, I've had situations where what I perceive to be a small local company has contacted me asking me for some photos that's turned into quite a big job. And, you know, that's fantastic. It's really good. And some of these small local companies go on to be quite big and do really well. You know, there's a few examples here. So I think, like, tapping into your connections is really important. And I've not lived in the UK for a long time, and I've never ran my own business in the UK. But I do think in Sweden, for sure, contacts and networks is where it all gets done. Mm-hmm. It really is. You have to build up your background and put some time in and get your portfolio. I think that applies to any business. Like, get your back record, you know, you're solid. And then it's about making contacts, making jobs come that way. And in Sweden, I think that's more relevant than anywhere. Yeah.
Because contacts are key, aren't they? And people buy people. So if they got that trust in you, then they are going to connect with you, and they're going to buy off you, and they're going to link you with other people as well. Exactly. I think there's quite an important project that you're on right now as well, isn't it? I think it's good. This is going to be the clincher for all our careers. Do you want to tell us about that project?
Was that a smooth bit of product placement for yourself there? Yeah, there is. I think it's exciting. I think it's really exciting. It's called Beyond the Trees, and you can go to beyondthetrees.info .se or .uk. And basically Richard, Claire's other half, is a really passionate, dedicated outdoorsman. And he's a funny guy. And I think that the whole outdoor bushcraft community is, you look at the stats, you look at the numbers, there's a lot of eyes on those videos, on some accounts. But it's all very serious. It's all very male dominated. It's all very, super detailed on actually building, say, a shelter or something, and down to every nail, and it's very seriously done. And some of them are good. I'm not knocking the whole thing, but I just see that there's a nice place there to go to try and get people that wouldn't normally look at these kind of channels. So we're going to play a little bit more on Richard's personality, and more getting other people to join us and have sit downs and talk about nature from, really experienced mountain guides and other husky mushers, but through to people that have never been in the forest before, and maybe take them in, and especially children, getting the kids out and getting them back into nature. We know it's good for them. We know it is. Richard speaks quite passionately about this, about how the forests are quiet now compared to when he was growing up, and he would spend a lot of time in the forests, whereas now it's not so much. Don't quote me on the exact figure, but I was really shocked when I found out that roughly 40% of Swedish kids have never really been in nature.
Really?
Yeah, that figure is, I spoke to someone the other day who said he thinks it's actually higher. So I'm doing some research on that figure. But it's something in that area. And that's in Sweden, and that really surprised me.
That surprises me as well, because what I know of Swedish families and Swedish children, they're always out. So what I've seen, so that's a shocking number. So if it's 40% in Sweden, what is it like in the UK? It's going to be even higher, I think. Because
exactly. And this project is going to be a YouTube channel predominantly. And we're doing it with zero budget to begin with. We're just going to do it. And we're leaning on our contacts to get really interesting people involved. And it's really early days, but we feel good. And I think that starting to build a YouTube channel has been something in my mind, because I think one of the things that as creators we have to do, it's a new age. It's like you need to become your own distributor. You need to have your own distribution channel. And because of YouTube and where we are today, you can do that. Whereas in the past, you couldn't. You needed to get a commission from BBC or ITV, or, now you can do your own TV channel. It's possible. And like you see stuff out there that it's pretty amazing. It's not all like, there's really good quality stuff out there that people are making. And personally, for me, if I really think about it, the last few years, I think my habits have changed. I'm not watching TV so much anymore, hardly. And if I do have a spare half an hour, I'm scrolling through YouTube. It's also good for learning things. It's also good, for entertainment. So YouTube is the way ahead. And that's both for, you don't want to base your whole business model on YouTube ads and money, because it's a long road to get to those kind of numbers, but also they could change their algorithm at any time. But if you have your own distribution channel, as a filmmaker and as a creative, you have a distribution outlet. So that becomes very attractive for brands that are in your field. So I think that the future, really, for creatives, they really should be thinking about your own distribution.
It's always good to have those extra income streams, isn't it? It's always good to have those other ideas, and like you said to me the other day, is roll with the times and keep up with technology as well.
Yeah, so it's really good. It's positive. People, there's bad sides to everything, but I think especially anyone that's a little older who maybe isn't, they want to be there but they're struggling with it or whatever. It really is just what it is, and I think you've got to use it for positive. Look at it positively and don't take too much of it off. Just take what you need and just work with that. But most people, like with YouTube, I don't, a huge amount of people give up. They start and they give up because it takes a long time, and your video just doesn't hit. It's got no views. It's just not going anywhere. So most people give up I think it's a huge, 90 something percent of people give up before they get to 1,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
So it's not quick. It takes a lot of work. It's really hard work. You know, we're going to have to, you know, we've been talking about this is until we think we're going to be anywhere in regards to that side of the things, I think it's going to be a couple of years. You know, it's not something you can do quick.
Yeah. So that's great. So what are some of your big highlights in your career so far?
I don't think, I don't know. It's
Meeting me and Richard, we know that. That's fine.
I don't think I've done what I want to do yet, if I'm being honest. I think that's where I am. I think,
where do you want to go then? What do you want to do?
We ultimately, you know, we've done some commercials for some big brands and stuff like this, and yeah, that's exciting. And I'm not taking anything away from that. That's pretty good. But I kind of want to make films that will make a difference in some way, shape, or form. I suppose highlight an issue, change someone's life, just one person maybe. You know, a documentary that's got some, you know, it tells a story, and I think that's where we want to get. And it would be good to be doing that. You know, we're pleased that we're pushing to get this on a major TV channel. That's really good. But actually, the future isn't with TV; it's with online. So you know, we've got to look at that. How we do that? Do we go and try and make our own distribution in that way? And there's some really good examples of companies and individuals that have done that really, really well online. But like, I think, you know, making something for a TV channel that it's well esteemed is really good. You know, that's the first step. If we're talking business, there's much more money to be made online. So yeah, it's to just really start making the things, you know, you really want to make, and you're getting paid for it, and you can push on.
But it's lovely because you've got a fabulous attitude, and I think that's why we work well together anyway, because you're positive and you want to do things that are good for people. You know, I know you've done us some favors. You're a good, you know, you're a giver. You're not a taker, and you're a brilliant filmmaker and a brilliant photographer. You've got loads of copious amounts of patience. So yeah, and we actually love working with you, and you know, and as a member of Introbiz Sweden as well. Well, we hope that we can make your dreams come true. You've put it out there now. You've put it out there on live, so hopefully somebody will contact you. And on that,
I got a little something to say about that. I was speaking to someone, another photographer, and he said something really interesting to me. He was doing a talk at one of these co-working spaces, where there was many other companies, and they have like coffee meeting once a month, and they have a guest speaker. And he asked everyone in the room a question. He said, "Why don't you approach me?" And his work's very good. What stops you from coming to me and asking me to make you a video or do a series of photographs? And he was trying to nail down the reasons why people don't approach him or haven't. And the number one was, people kind of said the cost, but he said, but you don't know what the cost is. And it is a tough part of what we do. But I think that, you know, we could be speaking to a huge company about a project where there is potentially big budgets, but also equally, I've done stuff for a sole trader, and you know, it's always worth the talk. And it may be more than you think, it may be less than you think, but it's just about, I think people really need to have high quality content now to stand out, to be competing in whatever you do. And that everyone's kind of getting on board that you need to be online, and they've got their phone up and they're doing all this stuff. But all the studies show that, the trends show that it's the high quality stuff that will hit the mark. And you know, that's where it is. And just if you are a small company, it doesn't mean that it may be out of your budget. We can always talk. So it's just really to say, talk. You know, I think people do need high quality stuff. We can do stuff, you know, we scale the way we do it down, and then you can make projects work. You can make it work for a budget that's reasonable. But one thing people do forget, they'll go and make a video, but they forget that they need to spend the money on getting it seen. Because we have many people that come to make an advert and then they just put it on their Facebook page. They're already there. There's no point. You've just wasted your money. So I actually have turned away clients because they had no money to spend and said, let's speak when you have more, because there'd be no point in making it. And I'm hoping I did the right thing for me as well, because there would be no point in them. I know that it's small budgets, but you know, they've connected with me and we spoke. Traditionally on a big campaign, the video production cost of a campaign would be around 5 to 10% maximum. So if you've got a big global brand doing an advert, 95% of that goes on the advertising cost. Whereas these smaller companies that dive into making something high end, they've gone and put everything in, and then they've really forgotten about how you're going to get it seen. You know, so that's the one thing I'd say to think about.
And you're wise as well.
I don't know about that.
No, but it is true though, isn't it? You know, if you're investing into a campaign, it's just as if you're the same when, and this is one of the big learns that I've had over the last 2 years as well, is that, you know, it's okay to go out there and put your business, you know, set up your business, but it's the marketing costs. And once you market and you have a good production, then it's how to get yourself seen out there, you know, and that's maybe something that's good, that we both stand for really with Introbiz Sweden and with Darren Hamlin Photography as well, is that you have to invest in that time to help you grow, and the money as well to help you grow. And actually the rewards will be much bigger when you do things correctly in the first place than if you just stumbling around. It costs you more in the long run. I've learned that. It costs you a lot more. I wish I'd sort of invested so much more time into myself, my personal development years ago, on business development. So that's a big learn for me as well. And yeah, so you know, if they invest the time into, it's like if they're going to have a film or any marketing material done for them, then it's actually, you know, you need to help them to get out there as well so they can be seen.
Yeah, exactly.
So, fabulous, all good stuff, Darren. It's, as always, it's a pleasure speaking with you.
I never done this before, so thanks.
I
don't ever want to be this side of the camera. So.
Oh no, I've got to tell everybody, Darren hates being this side of the camera. I always wind him up. I always try and take photographs of him or do a live feed, you know, and this is not your comfort. You're out of your comfort zone today, aren't you? Which you've done amazing.
Okay. Yeah, it's a bit weird.
But if anybody wants to contact you, how can they contact you?
They can go to www.darrenhamlin.se or .com, and you can reach out to me there. Yeah, that's probably the best way.
Yeah, on your website, and then all your contact details on your social media and everything.
Absolutely.
And also Darren is a member of Introbiz Sweden, so his details are on our website as well. So as part of the membership, you get your details, and you get a link, actually, your logos on our website, and you can just link straight to you as well if anybody wants to contact you. Just to let you know, guys, Darren Hamlin, he is a top class filmmaker, a fantastic photographer, a great friend of mine and Richard. So if anybody wants to have anything done, it's worth having the conversation to him, and I promise you he will get you seen, and he will do an amazing job for you. Thank you, Darren. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.